Episode 23, Marcus Goodall, Highland League champion. How you doing, pal?
Aye, not bad, yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. Last two episodes we've had Highland League champions in, but they're previous. Current Highland League champion. I'm going to skip forward to question 10. How does that feel to be a Highland League champion, mate?
Mental. April was just a mental month, to be honest. The amount of games that we've played,
Aye.
I was kind of shattered after it, to be totally honest. Cause
I worked out every 3 days you just had a game, roughly.
It was.
Aye. And that was a whole month.
And we had a short squad, to be honest. It was a tiny squad. So squad rotation was as best as it could, but boys played too many games, like Sam Pugh, Joe McCabe, a couple others, Jack Murray, Max Barry probably played ridiculous amount of minutes over the course of that 2 weeks. Like,
you can tell by the end of the season the boys were feeling their
we had a cup final on the Tuesday. It was a cup final on the Tuesday, and obviously boys were out on a Saturday and Sunday, and which is totally understandable. And I think MD would grudge that, like, but you could definitely see we were toiling. Like,
aye.
But even then, we probably should have won a cup final, but we wasn't playing well.
You'd rather a league though, mate.
Oh, 100%. Aye.
It's 100%.
Aye.
Right, Buckie boy, born and bred.
Aye.
Yeah. I always go back to start, Marcus, is how good a football player were you as a kid, and what age did you realise you had a wee bit of potential?
So I played boys club when I was younger.
Elgin boys?
No, just Buckie Boys Club.
Buckie boys, yep.
There was like a tournaments, winter league, summer league. Absolutely loved it. Like,
aye.
Ace. Didn't really think about how good I was. I just made sure I enjoyed it. And then obviously when you enjoy it, kind of comes, you play wheel.
Street footballer.
It's probably raw.
Aye.
Couple of my pals, they still play now. So Matty, Saul just signed for Lossy.
Right, aye.
Saul Fimster, so loved it with them. Like, us three made a lot of goals. Like,
is it a wee bit surreal for the three you still playing at a decent level?
Because I don't think you see that much. I think there's normally like one person at a pal group that'll play, but there's a fair few of us. Matty's at Isle of Vale, should be probably playing Highland League. Saul just moved into Highland League, probably should have done that a couple of years ago.
Aye.
He's had an injury already at Lossy, like, which is no good.
Yeah.
Aye, because he's nail like a talaloon, like, but he'll be back.
When you're injury free quality player.
Oh yeah, a choke. Aye, probably unlucky. Probably miss out my 11. Like, aye. He's up there. Like, technically, it's just unbelievable. Aye.
Yeah, playing against players like that make you a better player.
Aye. I kind of like playing boys like that. I was worried about. Folks say to me, because obviously we're expected to win every game at Buckie.
Yep.
I was worried made about teams that are, no disrespect, lower in the table, because they're going to sit in, can mark it hard for us. So I was worried about teams like that, but teams like your Brecon, Brora, Brock, that's the games I enjoy more, because they come out and attack you.
Yep.
And once you win, if you win a game, there's more it's a relief to start with, but you've done something right if you came out with 3 points.
100%, mate. 100%. Ross County as a kid.
Aye.
What age did you start with Ross County?
I was 12. So I was on trial at Aberdeen. Didn't really like it though.
Okay.
They actually came down to sign me. The day I left, they came down to sign me, and I was like, just no for me. One of my pals was at Ross County, so I used to go up and watch him in Dingwall. So I was kind of like familiar with his setup, and I was like, bit of me, I think. Yeah. Even at 12, I kind of knew. I was like, it's a bit of me. I used to go to the games, so he played in the morning, and then I'd maybe go to the first team game at 3 o'clock. Aye. So I kind of got a feeling, I was like, quite like this.
Always had a really good setup, Ross County.
Aye, really good, aye.
And I think it doesn't really, maybe nowadays it gets spoken about more, but their youth setup's different class.
Aye.
It's leagues above anyone else in Scotland for the size of the club that they are.
Aye, even the facility, because everything's built around the stadium.
Yep.
So the gym, your access to the gym.
They've got an huge indoor
Astro at the HFA. The Astro outside, the grass pitches are carpets.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable. Like,
it's second to none. And you look at places like, at the time, probably, we're talking 10 years ago, Marcus, roughly about that. Carly probably looked at it as a bigger team around about that time, but in terms of youth and the facilities, Ross County are up there with Aberdeen and things like that.
I would say when we were up there, Celtic, Rangers probably, obviously,
Miles
above. But
Yep.
other than that, like places that we travelled to wasn't that better than fit we had. Hearts was good, but other than that, I think County was definitely top 4. Like,
Well, and I try to think it out with the top 2 in Scotland. I think County and maybe Hamilton have got the best.
I was going to say Hamilton, because
yeah.
Hamilton's youth teams are.
They've always produced brilliant youth
Hamilton
teams.
used to be top. I think they won our league at one point. Aye.
And you think of players like the McCarthy and MacArthur that came through there. And
Lewis Ferguson.
Ferguson, I forget about him as well. Like, yeah. So, how was it going in for Buckie Boys Club to Ross County? What's big shock to the system, or did you fit in like well?
I fitted in quite well because I knew a couple of boys. So there was a thing before Frank McGettrick and who else was it taking it? There's somebody else that took it. So it was like local boys used to go and do like an extra day's training through the week.
Okay.
It was like through the SFA.
Right.
So there was like loads of boys for Elgin, Lossy, Buckie, and maybe like Forest, I think maybe boys came for. So it was like the boys that were maybe had a chance of doing something, they got an extra day session, better coaching than the boys club and stuff like that. So knew a couple of boys for there, like Joe Gold, who else was there? Owen Loveland, do you know him?
I do, yeah.
Aye,
yeah.
right.
Watched him. Just came on. He's so tenacious. Like, there was a spell when
he was being like
he was in and out of Gavin Price's team at Elgin, because I've been watching Elgin for years, and he was just, every time he came on, he was just so hungry to get on that Fitbit. It was good to watch. I've not really seen him the last couple of years. It's still the same with him.
Well, he used to be a centre half, so when he moved up, I think he went right wing because he was at Elgin. He's still there, I think.
I think he's out on loan.
But he's just an animal. Like, he scored against us. He was on loan at Strathspey. In that 2-week period, was on about. He scored against us and made it 1-1. Panic Station's a wee bit like
good wee player, man. Good wee player. Like, yeah, enjoy watching him play.
I love playing with him, like, because he's an absolute riot in the change room. Can imagine.
Football idol growing up, Marcus.
What
have you always been like you talked earlier on, you played up front when you were younger. Have you always been kind of up front midfield? Have you ever had a shot in defence, anything like that?
So I was at Elgin City, like boys club. So I played Buckie Boys Club, and then I was at Elgin City. So I was playing between the two. They used to like try you in other positions. So I was like right back when I was younger. So Elgin, I was like right back, up front. I was kind of going between the two. Didn't mind it, but I was up front. I knew in my deep down I was a striker.
Sniff for a goal. So growing up as anyone, you kind of looked at, you thought, right, I want to play like. Me personally, we're both Celtic fans. We got a green light behind us. I grew up watching Henrik Larsson. I could never play like Henrik Larsson. I was a goalie. Rob Douglas ended up being my idol, because I was just as clumsy as he was. But yourself, kind of, I'm trying to think of when you're watching Celtic, like who's in the team at that time, or
I'll actually nace a Celtic player.
Wow, okay.
Which is, it pains me to say it, Stephen Gerrard was my idol growing up.
Mad, like, okay, good. Can't deny the quality of the boy.
That was my idol growing up. Still, when he went to Rangers, obviously.
Yeah, Liverpool fan in any sort of way.
I used to, Celtic and Liverpool was my two teams growing up, but then till the Super League I stopped. After that I was done.
Yeah.
Hated it. Absolutely hated it.
It's mad how many people say that.
And I kind of wish I was still involved, but I've just not the time for English football, to be totally honest. Like, just didn't really like watching it, and only reason I watch it is for the FPL. Marking sure my players are good and they lose you 20 quid.
That's pretty good. Like, that's as good a reason as any.
But that's only, I've no kind of, and again, St Mirren were playing Kelly, I'd watch that over an English Prime game any day.
No, I totally proper football.
I just enjoy it more. I think it's 100 mile an hour in English football. I think it's a wee bit slow to watch and sometimes boring.
Bit robotic. You came what they're going to do.
As far as it's 100 mile an hour up here, isn't it? So
it's like the Scottish League's unpredictable, and each league you go to, and it just gets more wild and unpredictable till you get to your own league, and it's the Wild West. Some games
it can be.
Yeah,
the Championship on a Friday night can
at the BBC Scotland.
It's
brilliant.
It's the best thing that they've done is put a Championship because it's unbelievable to watch.
I watched. I don't think it was last season. It was 2 seasons ago. I watched Arbroath just about every other Friday night and fell in love with the team watching them.
Arbroath at home, because you've got the wind at Arbroath. It's just teams are getting up there and
struggling,
naked and what to do.
Playing against plumbers and giners.
Aye.
Okay.
But other than that, Stephen Gerrard.
Yeah.
I grew up with. I can vaguely mind like Scott McDonald, that 2008 era. So Scott McDonald, but mainly when I was growing up, it was like Gary Hooper, Stokes, Samaras, Commons, that type of boys. So I would have said them. Charlie Mulgrew.
Yeah.
Definitely that sort of era at Celtic.
Yeah.
That era. So around about 2012, I would say that was probably my favourite time being a Celtic fan.
What a time as well, because that's when we beat Barca and things like that. You know, like that's probably.
Well, I seen a video the other day, and obviously it was a qualifiers. Celtic beating Shakhtar Karagandhi 3-0.
3-0. James Forrest scored
the winner, and I was like, I'd love to see Celtic in Europe just be that aggressive in attack of the teams, because they're a wee bit passive sometimes with Celtic.
Me and Ryan were lucky enough to watch kind of Celtic 2003, 2004 kind of time, and we were going to, and we were expected to beat the big teams back then. It wasn't even like, oh, we'll go and try and get a result. We'd go and play a Liverpool or a Barcelona and think, we're getting a result here the night, and that fan base was half it. You've seen yourself in a European night, what it can do, and the noise is, it's silly, the noise.
That's the thing that bugs me. Like, I go down if we train on a Wednesday, so if there's a Champions League night on a Tuesday, I'll go down. Went down to Real Madrid, and the noise was just unbelievable. Sounds stupid, but we're celebrating throw-ins, corners, anything, absolutely anything. And you're like, you would just wish a team would
push on a bit.
And went in 0-0. Me and my brother was doing. That was about actually our first European game together. And I turned to him, I was like, I think we're going to get some in the second half, and then you go get popped 3-0. And then you realise you've got 5 hours up the road and home at 3 in the morning. You're like, it's devastating, but for a 25-minute spell, you're pushing the team on and you're just thinking, go and score. Cal McGregor hit a post that night, and you're like, we've got them.
I think a lot of teams come and they're shocked. They're shocked by the noise. And you hear a lot of players speak about it. I think Xavi's stocked up Celtic Park quite a lot in the atmosphere.
You see it in overlap a lot, like Rio Ferdinand and Ben Foster's got his own
Rooney
podcast.
said if there was one team he could have played for, it would have been Celtic. Like, his Loon's always wearing Celtic kits and that, which is good to see. Like,
definitely.
Okay, right. I've actually decided this is my favourite questions because I get some really good answers from this. Who's the best player you've played against in your career?
Do you want to speak about the Celtic game, or will I go Highland League?
Give me a 2-part then.
Highland League, Kane Winton, Banks of D, just an animal.
Yep.
Absolute animal. Have
you literally just saying that before
Is this the guy we were just speaking about before he came on, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay. What describe him? Ryan said...
I think he's about 6'3", built like a door. Scores goals, heads Ahan, kicks Ahan.
Yeah.
Love to him in your team. Hate playing against him, but you love to him in your team.
But should be playing at a higher level?
I've not seen enough of him, obviously, because we were playing, but the games that I've seen him, I always seem to like worry about him playing. He was, fortunately for us, last season, he was suspended for the 2 games. I think he's because he's that aggressive, and I think he maybe gets himself booked and suspended and that. So,
Can I take a guess at the next one?
Go for it.
Matt O'Reilly.
Yeah.
How good?
Gave him a whiplash.
Would you get 35 minutes?
Aye.
Run your ragging for 35 minutes, and even though he played the whole game.
Aye.
Yeah. What is it about? Like, I've tried to ask this. I tried to ask John Teasdale a couple of episodes. What is the difference between the semi-pro player and the player? What is the one key thing? Can you pinpoint it, Marcus?
Two, I think, communication and movement off the bar.
Okay.
That too, because we were obviously sitting in, totally expected, parked in 18, but runners off the bar, you didn't care whether it looked left, right, behind you, can just everybody.
Yep.
Fullbacks are bombing on, Matt O'Reilly's going, Just
nothing you can do.
Just nothing you can do. You just feel helpless.
Yep.
Absolutely helpless.
Do you reckon that you could probably play another 10, 15 years in the Highland League and probably never come... I'm just trying to gauge the level.
Yeah.
Never come up against a player that's even remotely close
Never
to
need
this.
it.
Yeah.
Never need it.
It's...
I got his top after the game. And
that's something else, mate.
the next day or 2 days, he was linked with Athletic Madrid.
Yep.
And I was like, holy shit.
And he's supposedly going to Juventus. Isn't he?
So I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Just played against us. It's boys that are... Well, we had a couple of boys that was actually working on the Saturday. And then playing Celtic Park on the Sunday after.
Mad.
It's crazy.
Mad. It's... looking aside for Matt O'Reilly, because we know how good a player he is, he's just won all these awards and things. Is there anyone else that you really thought, fucking hell? Because I know...
Played against... played against, I knew.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about the Celtic game, like, because Celtic went full strength in that game pretty much.
Well, we stayed overnight in Cumbernauld just to prepare properly, which was brilliant for the club to kind of pay out for that.
Yeah.
And we had meetings. I think we had 4 meetings. Every meeting was pinned on Callum McGregor, because we obviously thought, me being a Celtic fan, Callum McGregor plays, I think he plays the most minutes in Europe.
Yep.
So I was like, he'll definitely play, and they'll probably put out like a second string kind of fringe boys that need minutes, because they were just back. Yeah. Just back after the break, so I thought they'll get minutes in the legs for our boys. And Callum McGregor obviously didn't play, but then we got the team on our phone, on Twitter, seen the team, I was like, they've not held back.
Aye.
And I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did that. It made it even better for us.
Yeah.
And Rodgers came into our changing room after the game and says that the reason he did that is because he gave us every respect watching us clips and stuff, which was like even better.
Top
obviously,
class.
Aye.
Yeah.
He didn't need to come in, but he did it. Obviously, the type of person he is.
Yeah.
Made it even better.
Fantastic, mate. We'll get more onto the Celtic game in a wee bit. Who's the best player you've played with?
Jack Murray.
Yeah, I've been watching this
Jack
guy
Murray.
this season, a couple of games now.
Aye. I played with Jack for 4 years at Buckie and 2, maybe potentially 3 at County.
Mm-hmm.
At County, I knew he could do things.
Yep.
At Buckie, I
I
knew
think he
he could
scored
do
23 goals last season.
26.
26 goals last
26,
season for centre back.
Aye.
And
And the worrying thing is he probably could have had about 15 more, which is worrying, because the amount of corners that was on his head that maybe his goalie was saving or gun
yeah,
hitting the bar, or could have probably had 10, 15 more, which is scary. Aye.
Yep. Highland League Player of the Year as well.
Aye.
Yeah, well deserved.
1,000,000%. Aye.
Yeah.
We had to vote for 3 players for other teams. I couldn't think of a player that was like somebody.
That's interesting. Does every player in the Highland League get that vote?
Aye.
Yeah.
So you had to vote for 3, but you can't vote for MD that's...
Do you want to divulge who you voted for?
I voted for Andrew McLeod at Nairn.
Yep.
Made his debut at County. Unbelievable. Young lad. I think he's only 19. We played him in February. It's the first time I've properly seen him.
Yep.
I thought he was really good. Logan Ross, goalkeeper at Broda.
Yeah, aye.
We beat them. We battered them. I can't mind the score. I think it was 5. I want to say 5-1 or 6-1. It was one of that. And he kept it for being 10.
Aye.
Obviously, goalies are got a bad rep. Seeing it's 5-1, but he was unbelievable that night.
Yeah.
So he was number 2, and number 3 was Andy Hunter.
Huntley.
Aye.
Aye.
just for goals alone, like we played Huntley. I think he scored 1, but for goals alone, I think he scored 25.
Really good player.
For team like Huntley, but
He's
Huntley's
left Huntley as well. I just heard.
Aye.
Yeah.
Well, I think we were wanting him.
I think every team in the Highland League's going to be wanting him. Like,
I was desperate when I heard that we were wanting him. Just rumours, obviously, but I was like desperate. I was thinking, get him. Aye.
Yeah.
But that was my 3. Andrew McLeod was my number 1.
Yeah. I was gutted for Coco when I heard that Hunter had left Huntley, because I went to school with Coco and things.
Did
like
you?
that. Yeah.
Aye.
Great guy.
Aye, love Coco.
he is going to be coming on this podcast at some point.
You like him on?
Yeah, good guy. Same, like, that was kind of my age group at school. Was the standout players was Brian Cameron, the two Archibalds, Coco, a couple other boys, Xander, Xander Jack, boys like that.
Well, I had a spell on loan at Huntly for a month.
Yeah.
2021, just a young loon, needed minutes. Alan Hale was a manager. He wanted to sign me. It was the best thing I've done.
Yeah.
Go to Huntly. I was only there because Buckie had a lot of injuries. I think I was meant to be there till Christmas. Ended up being a month. But the boys there were really good.
Yeah.
Xander Jack, character.
Aye.
Character. But boys like that made it even better.
Yeah.
Just welcomed me, because obviously I was shite myself. 18-year-old kid, I needed to go prove something.
Aye. And we're getting the delights of Alan and Stefan at Elgin new. Some pair of them, like, going places.
The work that they put in behind the scenes is probably for you wouldn't have a clue.
I see a wee bit of, I coach at Elgin myself.
Okay.
I see a wee bit of, but I've got nothing to do with the first team. So, but just to see the transformation from us pretty much 10th place in that league, 9th place in that league, going out that trap door and probably not getting back in for a good few years.
As a Buckie Loon, I was hoping you were coming doing like.
Well, do you know what? There's the smallest part of me as an Elgin fan. I want them Highland League games. I want them games that I can go and see players, and go and get the 1,000 crowd for an Elgin Lossy game and things like that. I would love that. But I also like the place that I get to see some of the players we've seen come and play at Elgin over the last 10, 15 years has been unbelievable. Seeing boys that'll drop out of the SPFL, drop down a couple of leagues for whatever reason, and they'll come and play at places like Elgin. You just didn't get... I seen Andy Gorham play at Elgin when I was a kid, things like that. I'm a Celtic fan, but that's Andy Gorham, you know. It's surreal things, but yeah, from where the club was to where the club is now, different level. The
first game I was at Huntly was on away to Clark, and in the first games, I think maybe second game of season, Alan Hale sent me a message saying, "What's your email?" I sent him my email, and there was about a 40-minute PowerPoint presentation on Clark's strengths, weaknesses, set pieces, best players. He does this. He's not so good at that. PowerPoint presentation.
The detail.
Just in a Google file. And he did that every game.
Yeah. So Martin's on the ball.
Him and Stefan.
Yeah. We had Stefan
unbelievable
a wee while ago, and as well as being switched on, he's probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Like, he just says, "Okay, there's anything you need a hand with, give me his phone number," and that. Just give me a shout, you know.
Well, Alan's exact same. Messaged me when we won a league. Last day of season against Brecon, messaged me, getting all the best. Just a topper, like.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad we've got him. I'm glad we've got him,
definitely,
mate. Okay. What's your first World Cup memories, Marcus?
When you see that, when you sent me that 2010 South Africa.
Yeah, that's my first one.
Loved it.
That was my first one in the pub, so that's one of my favourite ones. Like,
I absolutely loved it.
Vuvuzela.
The bars, heading of them. Can't mind the name of them.
Jabulani,
that's it. Can't mind the name of. Unbelievable.
Was it?
You struck
Ryan, can you quickly just Google that for me if that's possible?
I think you're right.
Is it a Jabulani?
You're right.
It was because the Brazilian was a Brazuca.
I was thinking the Brazuca. I couldn't think.
Yeah, Jabulani.
Coming through, I was thinking I couldn't name the bar.
And it had a dip on it as well. Like,
you struck it. I think goalies were saying, like, I watched the Ben Foster podcast. He used to say he hated playing against that bar because the swerve on it couldn't do nothing.
Yep. Any players that stick out? When I think of 2010, I think of Ozil, I think of Forlan, I think of Thomas Muller.
James
Rodriguez, as well. That was a breakout of him as well.
That's how he got his move.
Iniesta. That's Spain. But do you know what? They go back to that Spain team. They played a lot of 1-0s and just scraped through it.
Ground it out.
But good teams win by playing like that. You know?
I was saying that. I thought. Pains me to say it, I thought England were going to win the Euros purely for that reason. I just thought everything's against them, media's against them, supporters are saying they're not playing well. I just thought they'll go through tournament, not play well and win it.
You can see it happening.
Which is a good team does.
Yeah.
We games like I had Buckie last year.
Didn't I play well and you
Didn't
still
play
won?
well and you grind it out. And that's what you need to do. And I was dead certain. I thought England will win it purely for that reason.
And then they were just seemed to get luck as well, like a wee bit of luck here and there. And you'll know yourself how important luck is
Definitely,
in football. It's one of the biggest factors. Like,
Definitely.
And it's the only one that can't be predicted. You know, everything else you can get down to science, but that's the one thing. A handball goes against you, something like that. Like, I think the English fans keep going back to Cucurella's handball in the semi-final. You know, and it's like, yeah, it's ifs and buts, you know. These things happen.
See him singing his song afterwards.
I did, yeah. Do you know what? He's
woke up with a fear the next day.
he's I think he's, for positionally wise, I think he's pretty much the best left back in the world just now. I can't see anyone really better than him. Tierney's obviously not got to that.
To say it,
Robertson's not what he was. I can't think of anyone else in that left back position who's doing it better than him just now.
I think you didn't really see him either because the Chelsea team's nae performing to if it's expected of a Chelsea team.
Yeah, and when they got that move for Brighton, you're like, I wasn't sure about
the price
that.
tag as well.
Aye, big price tag. I don't know. I'm still sceptical about Chelsea, but I think a lot of these signings will come good. I see Fernandes is in a bit of trouble just now for.
Boys were on about training, didn't I give it happen?
He was celebrating winning. What is he just won? Copa America. I think he's doing some racist things in his video and things like that. So it's mad. Okay, who's your favourite football player ever?
Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, you got a Celtic one?
Celtic in.
Because I'm not hearing you saying a Rangers manager.
I know.
Ever.
Celtic in probably Carl McGregor now. But hate to be Carl McGregor.
Yeah. Do you base any of your game on him? Do you just try at least? Because he's the ultimate centre midfielder.
I wouldn't say I like base things off him, but like I watch him and I think he just does every simple thing bang on every time.
Yep.
And I'd love to be able to do that.
The question's been asked on here a couple of times, Marcus. What do you think he does better than Scott Brown? Because it's clear that he's better and he does that job better. But what is it like? We know his passing's better. And things like that.
I think I'd probably fit it as. I think just that all-round football player is probably better.
Yeah,
I think Celtic kick a lot better when he's playing.
Personally, I think it's like he wants the ball a lot more than Scott Brown did.
He dictates play.
Yeah, like you look at him when the centre backs get the ball, McGregor's always around and he's facing them and he wants that football.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I used to see it sometimes with Brown, but he'd maybe be facing them, but he didn't want the football.
I think Brown did the dirty side of the game, which you need in a team. You need a destroyer that'll do the dirty side. He'll go and press and win the ball back, and then maybe pop it off to somebody that's better at attacking and then starting attacks.
And we've kind of got the best of both worlds in Matt O'Reilly now.
Box to box.
He'll do both. Just as good defensively as going forward. Like,
But Carl McGregor, I think, is just. Even I was kind of worried when he got captain because I thought he'll sit, and I was like, is he the type of player to go and win the ball back? And if it's Scott Brown did, and I thought, but he does do it.
Yeah,
he does do it.
I personally think it's a controversial one. I think he should be Scotland captain and take the pressure off Andy Robertson. Let Andy just play a wee bit. And then eyes are on McGregor. He's used to it at Celtic. He's used to 60,000 eyes on him every week, you know.
The one thing that summed Carl McGregor for me was the cup final that I was at in May.
Yeah.
5 minutes to go, he just scored, and he's running up the fans, telling them, get going, there's 5 minutes to go. But then he went and said it to his team. He could have easily just went, get a crowd going for the last 5, but they say nothing. But he went and said the exact same message to the team because you see it in the camera.
Yeah.
Which summed up as like class.
Top
he gains
class.
exactly if it's needed at that time.
Yeah. It's a different kind of player needed for that captain's armband at Celtic because I don't think it's not Celtic and Rangers and maybe the big couple of clubs in England. It's a different pressure when you're a captain at these clubs because the whole world's on you. It's not just your own fan base. It's not just other fan bases. One wrong decision on the pitch, it's highlighted. It's put under a microscope, and then the media's all over your back. You know?
I think when Callum McGregor first broke through, I think there was a lot of ifs and buts, and because obviously midfield was really good at that time. It was under Dyla he broke through.
Aye, it was. He went and had that wee season at Notts County, and it was the making him.
Aye. I think he played further forward. I read in Rogers, because I've got Rogers' book, I've got Callum McGregor's book, and he says he played further forward.
Played next to Jack Grealish.
Aye, which is mental, and you see him now and you're like, how are you ever playing that far forward? But aye.
Yeah, it was. And then I said it before, I think I was speaking to Craig Christie recently about it, and we were speaking about young Joseph Teasdale at Aberdeen.
Aye.
And I says it maybe benefit from a move to like say a Highland League club or an Elgin City or something for a season, just to give it meant that proper men's football.
Aye.
And we went back to Callum McGregor saying that Notts County was really the making him.
Just a grounding.
Yeah, pretty much. A bit different for yourself, because you play men's football. Highland League, you're not going to get much more men's football than that, you know.
Aye.
But I think you'll know yourself, Marcus, playing at youth football, Ross County, that you only ever play against other youth players. You don't ever get thrown in against boys that have played the game for 20 years. Them loan spells can be the absolute making of players. Like
the youth football is a totally different ball game, because teams are like setting up to keep the ball. It's possession based, and it's doing the right things and that.
Try to play like the first team.
Aye, yeah. And then you've got like a structure. First team play like this. You're moulded into that type of player. As far as like men's football, and 2-3 seconds of the ball, you're smacked. Which is good grounding to hay. Like,
aye.
Takes a while to get used to.
Takes a certain type of character as well.
Aye, I think that's if it makes a lot of the young boys, if they get up, if they've just been smashed, can they get up and go get a ball again and shake it off? Another
thing as well, and I'm right to think you're 22 years old?
Aye.
Yep. A young player. Would you, and I'm going to go back to John Teasdale's episode, would you have the same drive as a 21, 22 year old if you were already making 20 grand a week and you were already had the Porsche in your driveway and all that, whereas just now you're grinding, you're trying to make it in football and all that? Do you think you'd still have the same drive if you were already on £20,000 a week?
Probably no. Nah.
Yeah. Nah. It's different when you're having to work for it, isn't it? Yeah. And we feel that the drive is going out of the game, especially not maybe Highland League, Elgin, even up to probably Championship level.
Aye.
Anything above that, you're an under 18 at Celtic, you're on £5 grand a week.
Aye.
You know, under 18 at Man City, you're on 40 grand a week.
Yeah.
Where's the motivation?
No, definitely.
These boys are winning trophies left, right, and centre all their youth days. Like, they're getting used to it by the time they get in the first team and that. And I don't understand what makes you want to keep playing football.
Aye, I can. Probably, like you said, probably just the money came in. I've got 20 grand coming in. It's
aye.
No fussed whether I win, lose, or draw.
More about Instagram pictures and things like that.
As far as my levels, wins, it's a must.
Yep.
It's a must.
Yep. And it's like you're still young enough. I'm not saying because you're obviously a Buckie and you like playing for your club and all that, but you're young enough where you could go on and play at a higher level if you wanted to. You know, it depends on your own drive, how other teams see and things like that's a drive for you. But these kids are already at this level. They've only just got to step into that dressing room for the first team, and that's them made it.
I think half the battle is if these boys do come out of full-time football, are they got to quickly fit in and can think, are they got to go the other way and go, it's part-time, I'm not really fussed.
Aye. You think you reckon it's easier going from part-time to full-time rather than full-time back doing it part-time?
Definitely, aye.
Yeah. You work yourself, Marcus?
Aye.
Yeah. How easy is it to fit in training? Possibly, well, last season you were having 3 games a week some weeks, working probably 30, 40 hours a week, something like that. How hard is that for a 22-year-old? Because when I was at 22, Ryan, what were you doing at 22? I think we've got the same answer here.
Not much.
Not much, mate. I was in the pub.
It's hard. Like even just last Monday, working, training, because we train local on a Monday, so had to start training a wee bit later, coming in late, but just for your head, like you can't really shift things around because it's hard. Like we play Ayr on next Saturday, had to swap shifts on the Friday because we leave on the Friday, can't get down the Ayr, so I had to swap shifts, so he'll day off on a Friday
That's it.
just to happen to
Commitments,
play.
mate.
But aye, you wouldn't change it though, Ken.
No,
Just
I was
nothing
just
you
about
would
to say, you
aye.
wouldn't have changed it for the world, mate.
Wouldn't have changed it, nah.
No, hats off to you. These boys that take time out of their own time, probably losing income
Aye.
to go and just
But
play
then
football.
Come back, here's that's the drive.
Aye, there you go.
Again, because it'd be easy for us to say, nah, we'll just sack off football and boys will work. But no, they're coming from Aberdeen and Inverness to go and train just after their work, finished at 5, getting on a bus at 5:15.
Yep.
They getting in the door till 11 o'clock. So
Aye. Into your bed, straight up to
straight
you again
up,
tomorrow.
aye.
Fair play to you as well, really, honestly. Okay, I like this question. What's it like to play against your boyhood idols?
Aye, it still hasn't sunk in, to be totally honest. Like I was saying to my mum a while ago that kind of that I wish my life away, but I want to see in like 10 years' time how it kind of look back and go, that's just mental.
Yep.
Like in 10 years, I reckon how it'll feel like. But it was just the best couple months ever. For beating Broxburn, because that's the best game I've ever been involved in, is the Broxburn game. To then the draw, because we had our Christmas night out, so we were on the piss for 2 days. So when that draw happened, we were all sitting in a pub in Edinburgh watching it, got a draw on the TV.
Aye. Yeah.
Can't even think about how mental it was. I knew just
Yeah. And
nuts.
then the build up to the game, TV,
the media attention was nuts. Absolutely mental. Like I was working, no, I was not working. I was actually in the gym doing a workout, and ITV phoned me. I thought somebody was at it. Saying ITV London, generally thought somebody was taking a piss.
Wow, aye.
And I've messaged a couple of boys and they says I had it now. And then next morning I was on This Morning.
Fucking mental.
Crazy, aye. Mental.
It's and then obviously going into the game, I don't want you to give away any of your well you could, because different managers. Graham, now it's Lewis. How soon before a game would Graham let you know who was playing and things like that? Was it on the
Quarter
day?
to.
Was it
Same
okay.
as Lewis is the same, which I quite like, because everybody has, because if you got told on the Wednesday that
Keeps you on your toes.
Aye, if you got told on the Wednesday, maybe boys would, they saying go out on the Friday, but there's a possibility of stuff like that happening. But Mark's Abdi prepare in the same mindset.
Aye.
If you didn't ken you're starting or no, so
Yeah.
I actually prefer that.
Yep. And I know you're keen to play and all that, but to me, the personality I'm seeing myself on the bench. I'm like, thank fuck. Honestly, I'm relieved in that situation. Hated it.
Hate it. Absolutely hate it.
And just buzzing to get on.
Aye.
In the manager's ear and things like that.
I'm never in like a like.
No.
I hate like confrontation with folk, so I would not be ever. I'm never in that boys who are like, why am I playing? Because then I think sometimes I wanted to come back and bite my arse.
Would you be one of them kind of boys that maybe do an extra couple of stretching days, like?
I'm definitely that in, like, because I kind of sit at peace. So I'm in an empty every 5 minutes to go and warm up. Kind of sit at peace. But I prefer it. I prefer it like that.
Yep. And then when you got a shout, your heart's might not be going.
I was never the Celtic game. I generally was never nervous, because it's such a weird, like, we'll never ever be in that situation again, because we're expected to win every game in the Highland League and the cups and even Scottish Cup. Like, until you play teams like that, you're expected to win.
Yep.
That game is the weirdest mindset you've ever been in, because it's damage limitation. Like, you're going into a game, and you're negative a win, but
you're not only in two minds, Marcus. You're in about four, because you used to sitting in the stand watching these boys.
Aye, that is the biggest thing I couldn't wrap my head around. Because it was on Viaplay.
Yep.
And I was going out singing like the Celtic songs during the warm up, and I was like, "Fuck, if this camera better pick me up." And it's just, and there's a couple of my pals were over in the standing section. Speaking to them before the game, they're standing in the standing section, even in the Buckie end. Did I blame them? Like,
No.
Hate to pay for a ticket and that. They're probably too tight for that, but no, ace. Loved it. Unbelievable.
You'll take that to your deathbed, mate. You know.
I actually get like, thingy against you, because I love speaking about it, but then I love speaking about it, but I hate speaking about it.
Aye.
At the same time, like I don't like bringing it up myself in case I'm just like, did he play at Celtic Park? And but to speak about it and kind of relive it is just the best. Like,
yeah, and just at the end of the day, you didn't do yourself. You done yourselves justice. Like,
I know.
You really played well. Like
the build up to that, we played Dunfermline away in a League Cup a couple of seasons before, and we got absolutely battered.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of forgot about that game. And a couple of weeks before we played Celtic, somebody brought it up. I think it was Squish maybe brought it up, and I was like, "Oh shit, you're right." Because they battered us. I was thinking, if they're battering us, if it's Celtic that day,
Aye.
So
nah, hats off to you.
Aye, we had a chance of scoring. Josh Peters had a chance. He says he was running with 40 yards and goal, and looking up and seeing Joe Hart's near the easiest of things. Like,
no, it's true. It's so true, mate.
But I was fully expecting him to score. And just the type of boy he is, I thought he'll score.
Aye, brilliant, mate. Okay, this podcast is actually sponsored by a good pal of both ours.
Aye, I didn't actually care that.
Mr. Holly and Jason for the Godfather / Codfather. So we're going to give him a wee shout out. Good fish and chips.
I've never been for a couple of years, but he used to sponsor me for his county youth team. He was under 14s, 15s. He used to sponsor me. So
he's the life and soul of any party, Holly. Like a good lad. He's funny. Like he's just you'll hear him a mile off as well. Like, Jason, I don't really know Jason, but I hear Jason's just as good a lad, a girl father as well. So
is that his loon?
I don't think so. I think his business partner or something like that. Aye. So shout out to them guys. Thank you very much. I suppose we'll kind of get into a little bit as well. If anyone else does want to sponsor my podcast, please give me a shout. I'm looking for my first sponsor. Just give me a message. Facebook. I need to get an email set up for this thing as well. If you want to give us sponsorship, we can sort out something. I'm now going to go to a football partnership advert. The Football Journals is partnering up with the Football Hub. Si over at the Football Hub does great work, bringing coaches, drills, seminars, thousands of hours worth of coaching resources, knowledge. His TikTok videos are great. You can find Si and the guys over at the Football Hub at the-football-hub.org. That's the-football-hub.org. Check them over. They're offering a 30-day free trial. Honestly, I've checked them out myself. I've been using a couple of the drills in my own sessions. The guys are unbelievable. Give them a shout. Si's always on offer as well to offer personal advice, as well as a 30-day free trial. They offer individual packages for clubs, players, coaches, clubs. They'll offer grassroots club plans, pro club plans, a lot. Give them a check out, guys. Okay. We've recently, the last couple of weeks, had a massive spike up with John Teasdale's episodes being out. And up to about 143 people has following us on Spotify. I've only got 35 ratings though, so if you can give me a 5-star rating, it does really help people find the podcast. Right, Marcus, I didn't tell you about this bit. So one of my things I do on my podcast is I do player versus producer.
Okay.
So you and Ryan are going to have a quiz against each other.
Right.
And that's Martin Stewart's one. So I name a game, and you have just got to tell me if the lineups from that game. So the game is 29th of April 2018. Celtic beat Buckie 5-0. So I looked for the last 5-0 there was in a Celtic Rangers game.
Right.
So 29th of April 2018, Celtic 5, Rangers 0.
At Ibrox. Or is it at Celtic Park?
It's at Celtic Park.
Okay.
I'm going to give you double points for Rangers players because the Rangers team is absolutely ridiculous from that game. I think
I could only name a couple for the Rangers team.
I'll let you go first, Marcus.
Right. Craig Gordon.
Yep, stop there.
We're
back and forth until one stops.
You pick a fine day to bring this back, but I've got like 3 different. Cal McGregor.
Yep.
Oh, is it going? I can do that, can I?
Yep. So we're going between you.
Kieran Tierney.
Yep, so it's 2-1 Marcus.
It was at Celtic Park.
It was.
Because I was thinking of the Ibrox game and I had someone in mind.
The Ibrox game had Joey Barton in it, I'm pretty sure, didn't it not?
No, that would... I don't know. There was a lot
That was a
of
5-1.
5-1, so this might be the Ibrox game then.
Oh, well, I'm going to go with Lustig because he scored that game.
That would have been the day Celtic won the league.
2-2. I've not got Lustig as a goal scorer, so I'm probably thinking a different game then.
Lustig was at Ibrox.
Okay, so this will be Celtic Park then, so it's
Aye.
2-2.
Odson
Marcus?
Edward.
Yep, he scored 2 that day.
Yeah.
I've got someone in mind, but I think he might have left. Moussa Dembele.
Oh, Ryan.
He's away.
Oh, you've done it. No Moussa Dembele.
Dedrick Boyata.
Oh, well.
Boyata played, yeah. See if you can keep going, Ryan. See, can anyone give me a Rangers player?
It'd be someone like
I can.
Clint Hill or someone like that would be in there.
I remember him. No, he wasn't playing, unfortunately.
Jason Cummins.
Yeah, he played up front that day, yeah.
Because Forrest skinned him for a goal. Forrest scored that day.
He did, yeah.
Armstrong, people like that as well, I would imagine.
Armstrong isn't even there. That's
Really?
one surprised me.
God, I'm absolutely humped at this.
So we'll go Celtic was... Can you name me any more Celtic?
Scott Brown.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of centre halves, but I'm trying to think. I was about to say Sviatchenko, but I think he was gone.
No, he's gone.
He was gone. Centre halves.
Scottish centre half. Played in the Euros. Jack Henry.
I would never have got that. I completely forgot he was there.
Aye. Oh, sorry, he came on. It was Ayer. He came on for Ayer. So you got,
I was thinking Ayer.
You would have had Wes Foderingham in goal for Rangers.
no, we had
no.
Alnwick.
Aye,
jeez,
that's him. It went to St Mirren.
Right, so I'll read the Celtic team, which is pretty...
Please never bring this segment back
It's
again.
a really good Celtic team, to be fair. Gordon, Lustig, Boyata, Ayer, Tierney, and Cham,
I was saying
Brown,
Cham, aye.
Forrest, Rogic, McGregor, Edward, Hendry, Griffiths, Sinclair off the bench, and then unused subs were Simunovic, Roberts, Bain, and Kouassi. This is some Rangers
I
team.
reckon I
this.
could name a couple of Rangers team.
Right. I could...
Joey Garner. Would he have been away?
Nah.
Was he in the 5? He would have been the 5-1. Rangers
Was
team.
this-
Holiday.
Holiday played, yeah.
Would this have been under that Spanish manager they had the one before
The
Gerrard?
Mexican one.
The Mexican one.
Yeah, Pedro.
They would have.
Cachinha.
Would they have had Morelos by then? Because I think he was a signing. for
Yeah,
them.
mate.
Aye.
They had Morelos.
Yeah, he was there in the championship, I think.
He came off the bench that day. So they had Alnwick, Holiday, Russell Martin, McCrory, Tavernier, Graham Dorrans, Holt, Candeas, Windus, Murphy, Cummins, Morelos, Doherty, Hodgson, Rossiter, O'Halloran, and Liam Kelly.
Rough.
That's a rough Rangers team.
Liam Kelly back here now as well.
Okay, we'll change that segment, Ryan.
I think 6-1 down at this point.
Pretty much. Okay.
Stuff like that, I can mind like
Pretty good with stuff like
pretty
that.
good with stuff like that. So
What's your ambitions for your career, Marcus? Do you want to go up and play at a higher level?
Judge my answer. I'm not like really too fussed about it. I've not really taken much like thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be enjoying my football for as long as possible, injury free.
Yeah.
Win as much as I can at Buckie. That's kind of my only ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to captain Buckie. That'd be probably my biggest ambition now.
That's nice. Yeah, I like that.
But no, I've never really like took much thought of going up again. As long as I'm enjoying it, which I am, that's my only goal.
If there was a sniff of maybe League 2 or something, would you have to get a good thought?
I'd get a good thought, but
yeah.
I'd definitely weigh up leaving Buckie because
Hometown boy, man.
hometown, everyone's on my doorstep. I play in front of supporters that I can and love doing that every week.
Well, I've actually got, this is mad, you had 8 different sponsors in one season.
Aye.
And it was just a couple
I can, but there was 4 or 5 that I've no clue who they are.
Yeah. It's mad when you think, like, I've seen teams struggle to get one sponsor
Aye.
for a boy, and you've got 8 yourself.
Every time I went on Facebook, there was somebody else, and I was like, it's getting a wee bit embarrassing at one point. I was like, oh, nah, but nah, it's magic for a club. I think it's £100 to sponsor, so that's £800 going to the club.
Yeah.
So grateful for it, like
popularity of it, mate. Honestly, I always go back to Brian Cameron and Elgin. You always support your hometown boy, like, and
aye,
like he could have a massive, drastic career change, and we'd still see him through it and still support him because he's one of our own.
Aye.
You know, and we ken where he's come from.
Yep.
And
I think when I was younger, it was the exact same. Like we had Jamie Shue and
aye,
and
of
Zico.
course, yeah.
It's Jamie Shue and Zico Mara. So it was like that was a 3, and it was the exact same. Like used to love going watching them.
Yeah,
I was actually a mascot at Jamie Shue's testimonial when I was younger.
Was you?
Aye,
Mad.
And aye, exact same.
Yeah.
Again.
You look up to him and things like that.
Aye,
and,
definitely.
Okay, last my questions, and we'll get into your 11, and then I've got one final question for you. It's your proudest moment in football so far?
The Celtic game, probably.
Yeah.
Just purely because how much like my family and my pals went doing. That meant a lot. Like,
Yep.
a couple of my pals took their girlfriends doing, never been doing to games before, and made a day out of that.
Aye.
That meant a lot. Like they came down, felt the need to travel, come to watch my, like, which is magic.
Yeah, I love that.
And then just my family after
Could
the
you
game.
spot your family in the crowd and that when you were on the pitch?
I could.
Aye.
But they couldn't see me. They thought I was waving to somebody else. I was like, I could literally see you. So I was trying to get their attention. I'd love to have went up and like spoken, whatever, but it would have been so hard. Like, come back out and go into the changing room, and
Aye.
like when Brendan Rodgers was speaking in our changing room, one of my pals was actually phoning us. I was like trying to end it while he's listening to Rodgers. Like he was telling me to come back out, and I was like, well,
You can't leave now.
can't I leave her now? So that was probably the proudest thing. Was probably that, like. And then winning the league obviously was just.
Are you the same as me? Like you done this stadium tour and all that kind of stuff, and
I did a stadium tour when I was like 8.
aye, and then being in that dressing room. I know you're in the away dressing room, but
We got into the home changing room.
Did you?
Aye, so
that's madness.
So they dropped like pizzas and that into our changing room after the game. But when Roger spoke, he was like, "You boys are welcome to go into the home dressing room, get food, speak to players." So we were all in their dressing room, just speaking. Kitman came in, started dishing out tops, can get signed and stuff like that.
Mate.
Aye,
Yeah, different class. Right. That's why I'm a fan of that club.
after the game, like I was totally honest, I wasn't too happy when Rodgers came back to Celtic. Obviously, style of fit, I was chuffed wee, but the way he left, I wasn't
Same here.
too pleased. But came away, I said to my mum and dad after the game and my brother, after the game, I totally changed my opinion.
Aye.
Just the type of person he was.
Yeah.
Did you get Desi?
No.
Darren Strong,
Oh yes,
Aye.
sorry, yeah.
Hasloon, Daniel, the way they treated Daniel was just
Top class. Yeah. It's
just I was actually buzzing like just for him, and seeing how Celtic treated him, and just
club like no other, mate. Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah. Right.
And even the Rangers fans that day,
Sorry.
Rangers fans that day said as well, like how we were treated and Celtic supporters. We were getting clapped off by Celtic supporters.
It's like
I can never ever
a
expect
huge
that.
crowd as well.
40,000.
40,000. Like
I
I wish you all the best for your career, Marcus, and all that. But when's the next time you'll play in front of 40,000 boys?
I know. Okay.
That's like. No sense once in a lifetime because
I knew obviously if I gone down to the games and that, like I've been to games for a cane the crowds and they gotta be full attendance, and I can't obviously wasn't gotta be full attendance there. You're not gotta get Irish supporters clubs coming over to play it, can watch us on a Sunday at 4:30. I think the kick-off was.
Yeah, it was.
But I knew it was gotta be decent size. I thought maybe 30 because it's first time Celtic been back after a break, and I came from myself. Like I watched them against DC United last night, 'cause I was just missing it that much.
Aye.
But I knew it was got to be. Didn't think it was going to be 40,000. Like,
Aye, it's stuff boys like me can only dream of, and you've
Aye,
lived it,
just-
mate, and it's just
it flew in, which I knew it was going to happen, Kane. But it's went like that.
Yeah.
And
brilliant, mate. Okay, we're going to get on your 1 to 11.
tried in this part. Tried it.
I'm going to read through it.
Okay.
So Kev Main
Kevin Main, aye. Kevin Main or Lee Herbert.
or Lee Herbert. Okay.
Kevin Main purely because I think he's the best goalkeeper Highland League history. Like I can't see there being MD better. Grew up watching him. Glad I shared a dressing room with him.
He was in our last 1 to 11.
Was he?
Moses, this is not going to make sense to
Mickey Mo?
anyone. Big Michael
Aye.
Morrison.
Mine have grown up.
Aye.
What a player he was.
Unbelievable, mate.
Aye.
A cracking guy as well.
So scared of him, you started trembling when you said his name there.
Yeah, honestly.
I can imagine. Aye.
He's unbelievable,
Aye.
but he had him in his 11 last episode as well. It's not as well. It is out.
You'll have to get him on. Mainzer. He'll have a few stories for you.
I'm definitely, there's a couple of names. Kevin, I can actually just look back. Neil White's another one that keeps getting mentioned all over the place. Willie Furphy's another one. Ian Murray, Moby
Aye.
keeps getting mentioned. All these boys.
Probably the best players I've seen growing up.
Yeah. So there's a lot I'm going to have to get on. So I'm going to read through your 1 to 11, Marcus, and then I'm just going to pick out a couple of names for you.
Okay.
So you've got Maney, Joe McCabe, Jack Murray, Sam Morrison, and then you've got Mark McLaughlin / Josh Reid, Max Barry, Andy McCaskill, Kev Fraser, Josh Peters. You've got yourself up front, and then you've got Lee Herbert there. Couple of honourable mentions you said as well.
Aye. Loved playing with Matty and Nicol when I was younger. He's one of my best pals, so loved playing with him. Saul from the start as well.
Yep.
Lucas Davidson. Them three's at Isle of Vale, and then Saul's just signed at Lossy.
Yeah.
But playing with Lucas, striker's dream for me, because he can't exactly the type of bars that I liked running onto.
Yep.
She used to find me all the time, so it was a dream for me. Like, it was
Easy.
just ace, aye.
Yeah.
Wanda left foot.
The first name I'm going to pick out, and it's a name I associate solely with Buckie Thistle, is Sam Morrison. How good a player, because he's quality.
Aye.
I think he's underrated.
Yeah, I definitely love. Before we signed him, he's been there a year longer than me. He was meant to go to Motherwell,
Okay.
and I think he failed his medical for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and then we signed him.
Yeah. I just don't think he gets the recognition for how good a player he is. Like,
He played. I think he played sitting midfield.
Yep.
To start with, and then he obviously just filtered back into his natural centre half. But really, really good. Every like attacking corner, I think he's got a score. Like if it bars on his head, he'll score, I think.
and with him last season, with him and Jack Murray, like,
Aye. Sam was unlucky last season, obviously injuries and that. 'Cause I think he broke. We played Aberdeen in a pre-season friendly, and they brought their full team, and I think he went in a tackle or something and broke his ankle. And then he was coming back, went on loan to Loch Ness. I think he was looking a lot fitter. And then I think he broke his other ankle. The exact same break, just by tripping over the bar.
aye,
Um,
madness.
Aye, just so unlucky. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
he's definitely the best centre half I've played with and will play with.
One of the best players should be playing at a higher level, in my opinion, is Max Barry. How good a player.
Aye, when Maxie came in, he was training with Dice. I think he'd just been released for Aberdeen. And then Spider, I think he's good mates with the Dice manager, so he was like, we've got a player here. Came in to train a couple of times. I thought, he's really good, should sign him. Signed him, and then just games, he would just run through the whole team and score. And he was doing that last season loads.
Yeah.
Amount of times he bailed us out.
And just just looks so comfortable as
Aye.
well. Very like calm.
He's nonchalant, like he'll just nothing phases him.
That's
I wish
what-
I'd love
yeah.
that, because I'm in the biggest warriors.
Do you play better like that though? Do you think if you were too calm, you'd maybe be a bit more casual about the game, Marcus?
Maybe I
Yeah.
would just like to chill out a wee bit. That's one thing I'd love to improve, and Kane how to change about myself because I do worry about
Yep.
training. I worry, which I hate, but it's a good thing and all. Obviously, 'cause it makes sure you prepare right and do the right things. But I'd love to be like boys like Marksy and just naked, a care in the world. Like,
Aye. Kev Fraser. You're shaking your head.
a machine, aye. Absolute machine.
Yep.
He's coming back this season.
Is he like that in training as well?
Aye.
Aye.
Trains the exact same.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing about Buckie is that everybody trains how they play. There's nobody that like sacks off and
Aye.
training's a high standard and then
High intensity.
and replicates on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And
One of the guys I got to see a couple of seasons ago at Elgin was Josh Peters. Got little glimpses of him. I've not seen much of him at Buckie because I've been more into Elgin the last couple of seasons, but really good player.
The season we got beat last day against Brecon, Josh's goals, I think he scored 29-30. We're doing a bit here anyway. Could have probably had more, but same again. Amount of times he like bailed us out and scored important goals at important times. Went up to Broad on a Wednesday night and scored a second goal. Took the pressure off us. So if we went up there and lost, that would have probably been a league done.
Yep. Because it was a three-way race for a wee while, wasn't it?
Aye.
The league. I mind that because was it Fraserburgh was still in it as well?
Fraserburgh were there or thereabouts, aye.
And then the last, I think, 3 games, it just went down to 2 years.
Aye. Can't mind. Fraserburgh had a dodgy result. And then it was us and Brecon.
So your 11s, you know.
A lot of Buckie players I've just played it. I've only played at Buckie in senior football, so
if you're putting that 11 together, you usually win the Highland League.
100%.
Yeah, and it just shows the quality of player that we've had in at Buckie last couple of seasons. We'll just briefly finish on current team. We spoke quickly before we came on. You've just made a huge signing. Mark Ridger's a goalie. We spoke a wee bit about him just before we came on. I think that shows a wee bit of intent for Buckie for this season. Obviously, he's lost Jack to Elgin, which Elgin seem to be going places just now. Like they've just taken Josh Sargent as well for Fraserburgh, another brilliant player. But you boys are going to be challenging for that league this season again, yeah?
Certainly hope so. That's definitely the aim. It's aim every season. But it's twice as hard now because we're the champions. So
yep.
When we played last season, we're playing teams that are maybe nae up to the stand. They're not going to be challenging. So when they do beat us, and it happened a lot of times last season, like we couldn't get a win on a Saturday for weeks and weeks and weeks because we're getting up the wick and we're getting beaten. Teams are celebrating, that's their league win.
Yeah.
Beating us, and it's horrific to listen to next door. So it's got to be even worse this season, but can't wait, to be honest. Like
pre-season going well as well.
Yeah. Back training. It's tough in the League Cup because that is our pre-season.
Yeah,
but it's hard to get too downbeat about the results. Been beat for Steny, beat for Falkirk, but a lot of good stuff in the games. But Falkirk are full time, and so it's it's hard, but a lot of good stuff yesterday. So
it's mad to think they're only last season only 2 leagues above, and they're full time. You know, I watched Elgin get beat by Hibs last weekend, and just the difference between a full time side and a non full time side is just worlds apart.
As I'm saying, like it's Elgin go beat 5-0, 4-0, 5-0, and I think that boys. I'm really disappointed if we get beat, but then you're looking and you're like,
what do you expect? Like, you get a result there, you're speaking about that for the next 20 years.
Train for 2 hours a week as a team and
against boys that are 4 days a week.
They've drilled into this is how we play off the bar, with the bar.
And I think I've noticed it before as well. A lot of these boys, Falkirk, Hamilton, all these kind of Livy clubs, it's our boys that were youth at Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen one day, and if I came through a proper setup and a system, and no offence to Elgin or Buckie and that, but our young lads only train 2 nights a week. Their lads are getting time off school to go and play trips in Europe and things like that. You know, it's levels, mate.
School as well, performance academies and
specific classes about things.
Aye.
And
There was rumour when I was at County. There was rumouring maybe going up in the Highlands. It obviously never happened, but I think the only one up here is Hazelhead.
Aye,
And it's obviously Aberdeen boys, but I think there's like 4 or 5 in Central Belt, which says it all really.
it does, mate. It does. Thank you for the last hour and a bit, Marcus.
Aye,
I
no
really
worries at all.
appreciate your time. Wish you all the best in
Thank you
this
very
season.
much. Cheers, Lee.
If you're a double Highland League winner, we'll get you back in.
Fingers crossed.
No worries at all, mate. And I do advise anyone get along and watch Buckie. They're one of the most entertaining teams in the Highland League. Have been for seasons and seasons now, and it's good to watch. Last question's always the same, Marcus. If you had a penalty that needed scored to save your life, who takes the penalty?
Me.
You.
Me.
Yeah. Always been a penalty taker?
No.
No.
But I would not want to put pressure on anybody else.
Yeah, we've had that answer before, mate.
But if I had to pick somebody else, Jack Murray.
Jack Murray.
Aye, but I would say me.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you, pal.
Aye, no worries at all. Thanks very much.
No worries.